Mongooses are primarily found in Africa, their range covering most of the continent. Some species occupy parts of southern Asia and the Iberian Peninsula. They are generally terrestrial mammals, but some are semi-aquatic, and others are at home in the treetops. Size and appearance ranging in size from the 7-inch long dwarf mongoose to the 2-foot-long Egyptian mongoose. These sleek mammals have long bodies with short legs and tapered snouts. They normally have brown or grey grizzled fur, and a number of species sport striped coats or ringtails. Hunting and diet: mongooses live in burrows and are non-discriminatory predators, feeding on small animals such as rodents, birds, reptiles, frogs, insects, and worms. Some species supplement their diet with fruits, nuts, and seeds. Creative hunters, they are known to break open bird eggs by throwing them with their forepaws toward a solid object. Famously, some species of mongoose will boldly attack venomous snakes such as cobras. The most celebrated of these is Rudyard Kipling's fictional Rikki-Tikki-Tavi, based on an ancient fable and included in the Jungle Book. Mongooses as threats to other species: in the 1800s, mongooses were introduced to several islands in Hawaii and the West Indies in order to control the rodent populations on sugarcane plantations. Today this effort has come back to haunt these islands as mongooses threaten the survival of various native species, particularly birds. However, in their natural environments, mongooses are currently threatened themselves due to habitat loss. Mongoose facts: the mongoose is an animal that is perhaps best known for its remarkable ability to kill snakes, like the cobra. Scientists believe that they have evolved a protein that provides some degree of protection against snake venom. However, they are not completely immune from repeated snake bites. Ancient Egyptians would sometimes put mummified mongooses in tombs with their owners, since they were a common pet. An Indian grey mongoose called Rikki-Tikki-Tavi was immortalized in Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. Mongooses have horizontal-shaped pupils, similar to sheep and horses, to help avoid predators. In many places, mongooses are seen as an invasive species because they are a threat to native bird life, including protected and endangered species. Mongoose scientific name: mongoose is the colloquial, or common, term for a group of similar species that belong exclusively to the family of Herpestidae. The scientific name derives from a Greek word for an animal that walks or creeps on all 4 feet. Mongooses occupy the same order, Carnivora, as cats, bears, dogs, seals, and raccoons. They are the most closely related to viverids such as civets, chernets, and lynxings. The mongoose is an animal somewhat more distantly related to the hyena, and an example of a feliformia, or a cat-like carnivore. It is believed that at some point early in its evolution, these animals split into 2 different subfamilies, the Herpestinae and Mungotinae. A third subfamily called Gallidae was once classified with the other 2. Endemic to Madagascar, Gallidae was sometimes known as the Malagasy mongoose, for its similar appearance. However, this subfamily is now classified in the family Eupilaridae instead of Herpestidae. There are around 34 mongoose species still living. This includes 23 species of Herpestinae and 11 species of Mungotinae. A few extinct species are also known from the fossil record. Mongoose species are unevenly distributed across the entire family. Some genera only have a single species in them. The genus Herpestes, however, has approximately 10 living species, including the well-known Indian grey, the Egyptian, and the crab-eating mongoose. These animals typically is a slender creature with an elongated body, short legs, thin snout, and small rounded ears. Coat color is almost always brown, grey, or even yellow, sometimes interspersed with markings or stripes. The tail may also have a unique ring pattern or coloring on it. Because of its appearance, some people mistake them for a weasel, even though their traditional range rarely overlaps. The mongoose as an animal, not the myth, varies in size from one species to another. Their body can range anywhere from 7 inches on average for the diminutive dwarf mongoose to 25 inches on average for the massive Egyptian mongoose, while the tail adds another 6 to 21 inches. This makes the typical animal about the size of a house cat. The largest species can also weigh up to 11 pounds when fully grown. Smell is an important part of mongoose communication. This is facilitated by the presence of large scent glands near the anus that they use to signal for mates and mark their territory. In fact, the scent gland is the primary characteristic that separates these animals from the civets, chunets, and lynxings. Mongooses, the correct plural of mongoose, are animals that also rely on vocalizations to signal for threats, begin courtship, and convey other critical information to other members. They have an impressive range of sounds to communicate with each other, including cries, growls, and giggling. Each sound is accompanied by a different set of behavior. The Herpestidae family in general exhibits a wide array of social structures and behavior. While some species thrive in solitude or small clusters, other species live in colonies of up to 50 individuals. The well-known meerkat, for instance, which was made famous by a TV show, lives in large cooperative bands with a distinct social hierarchy. Individuals are sometimes responsible for specialized tasks such as guard duty, hunting, and child protection. The colony lives or dies based on the actions of each individual member. The particular social arrangement of a species may be related to its physical size and type of animal. The larger and more physically intimidating Egyptian mongoose is a lone hunter, while the smaller, dwarf mongoose is a more social creature that staves off predators by clustering together into large groups. Alone, an individual is vulnerable. But even smaller animals can be difficult to kill when it is part of a pack. The mongoose's small size conceals its rather bold disposition. The creature is able to hold its ground against dangerous predators much larger or more aggressive than itself. Being able to kill snakes, even venomous species, is only one example. These animals can also sometimes evade or bamboozle deadly predators with its impressive speed and agility. Some species can run at an average of 20 miles per hour. These animals are most active during the day while they hunt and socialize. They tend to spend the night in their dens asleep. Mongooses can be quite intelligent and playful, especially in social settings. The mongoose is an old-world animal that thrives largely in hot or tropical areas. The largest populations can be found across sub-Saharan and eastern Africa, including most species of Mungotinae and some species of Herpestinae. They are also fairly common throughout a long stretch of territory in southern Asia, from China to the Middle East. Other common locations include southern Iberia, Indonesia, and Borneo. These are largely terrestrial mammals that roam the ground. They reside in a variety of different climates and habitats, including tropical forests, deserts, savannas, and grasslands. However, there are a few notable exceptions. Some species such as the crab-eating mongoose are semi-aquatic and spend a good deal of their lives in and around the water. They are quite adept at swimming with webs between their digits. Other species inhabit the trees, moving effortlessly between branches. The terrestrial mongooses, on the other hand, burrow into the ground with their big non-retractable claws. They spend much of their time within the complex system of tunnels they have created. Mongoose reproduction varies widely between species, since it is often a reflection of their social structure. Solitary mongooses only meet up at regular intervals to reproduce, usually once a year. One or both parents may raise the young pups. Large colonies, on the other hand, tend to have a dominant member of the pack with almost exclusive breeding rights to several females, or sometimes there is a single male female dominant pair. Once mating is completed, the female will give birth a few months after conception. She can give birth to a litter of anywhere between 1 and 6 pups at a time. The mongoose pups tend to grow up relatively quickly. After they are weaned, the pups will remain dependent on the parents for another several months. It can take between 6 months and 2 years for a pup to become fully mature. Among more social mongoose species, pups are introduced into the colony from an early age. When foraging, several members will stay behind to protect the young. In some colonies, a pup will choose a specific adult to provide regular sustenance and attention. Individuals may even form lifelong bonds with family and/or fellow members of the colony or pack. Lifespan depends greatly on the species, but a typical mongoose can live around 10 years in the wild and perhaps twice that in captivity.